Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of Vivel Talks. Today, we are hosting one of our participants, Hans Jacobs, and also we have Lars, my co-founder, Vivel. And today, we will be talking about more about the event, but also what made Hans decide to join the community. Hi, Hans, how are you?
Hey, I'm very good. Thanks for having me.
So, where are you joining from?
I'm currently in Amsterdam, the Netherlands.
Okay, for how's the weather there?
Honestly, the last 2 days we can't complain. We had some sun, but I'm definitely
Okay.
way looking way more forward to sunny Turkey.
Yeah, we have been having this pleasant weather for some time. We don't usually get that kind of weather during this time of the year. Last year it was snowing at this time
Oh
of the
wow.
year. Yeah, but now it's like shiny, it's like in mid let me say towards 20s. And so, by the way, we will have perfect weather in Cappadocia during the time of our event. And actually, we have a surprise for you because Lars, where are you? Can you tell us where you are now?
Right now, I am in Turkey, and funny enough that you're talking about weather because I was in Cappadocia a few days ago, and the weather wasn't the best as far as conditions to do a photo shoot. And right now, I'm in one of the other destinations, Kayseri, and again, the past week has been probably the week in the last 2 months that you probably shouldn't have went here to do any photo shoots to get clear weather. So funny enough that you mentioned weather, because I think, we have shot some great inside footage, but the outside footage leaves room for imagination, because I think I've been there last year in May in Cappadocia and this area. And then it was very clear, very bright, completely different energy, very photogenic. Like you could make all the shots. Right now, we just have to do it with the caves and the hotels and the scenery, more of the inside aesthetics. So yeah, I think that I'm here now. I'm about to leave. I've spoken to all the vendors, all the physical locations. So it's been exciting to see all these things coming together. I guess the photographers that are boots on the ground will start shooting when the weather turns back again, and we will get that at a later point to showcase to people what it would actually look like outside too. So yeah, that's a little bit of my story of this week and the weather.
Perfect. So how was everything, by the way, Lars, since you were on the field? Just can you tell a bit about the experience, how the place looked like, so what to expect when we are there?
Yeah, so I think, the way that I approached it with the people that we already knew that are going to help us, like local vendors, local event management companies that we partner with, I told them we should approach this as an actual walkthrough, as if I am a participant, and let's just kind of mock the whole process and capture it as good as we can. Again, didn't really go as what it would look like in the end of May due to the weather, because the weather conditions during high season in Cappadocia are 90% of the time good, where right now we're in low season and it's not always like that. So we just went through all the motions. I met all the people. I've been to all the venues, and everybody has, really put their right foot forward. The experience was very smooth, but again, I couldn't capture all the things that we wanted to capture to be able to highlight it. But I had a great time to see what it's like, what people we will be dealing with, what type of energy we can expect, and how we're going to make it all happen. So a lot of the logistics side of things is becoming a lot more clear. So I think that for me, it was a secure feeling that, I'm sitting here at the end of my trip and I feel like people are going to can experience something that they probably haven't experienced before. That I can guarantee, based on the places I've seen and the people that I've met. So I guess on that note, it's a positive thing.
Okay, that's great to hear. So to go back to funds, so how did you decide? What was that first thing that you heard about Vivel that made you think about being part of the Vivel community?
I think first and foremost, sharing Web3 and what it stands for, what we're trying to achieve. I think as Web3, how do you say, evangelist, maybe almost. I think I'll grab any opportunity that I can spread the word on what Web3 is trying to do, and what we should be doing with blockchain technology and so forth. And when Lars approached me and he told me then about all the other stuff that was going to happen, that got me extra excited. Of course, nothing beats a real experience. Nothing beats traveling to places I've never traveled, and that's what made me super excited. So I thought this is an opportunity I don't want to miss.
And so when you first heard about it, what was the thing that made Vivel differentiated from the others?
Well, definitely locations.
From another Web3 event. Let's say that even more specific.
Yeah, well, again, locations. I think it's fascinating. I mean, he showed me, of course, all the pictures, and I thought, oh, so we're actually going to go there? Like, at first I didn't believe it, to be honest. I was like, yeah, we'll probably just be on the stage, right? And they're like, no, we're going there. Like, it's going to happen over there. It's like, wow. Okay, sign me up. It's that easy.
And so, because like we are having so many events, like the Web3 events, remote work events, and so, and it is usually about, and that's why we came up with this idea, because like usually it's either the conference or it's even the fun part, or it's either like the, the networking, but here it's going to be like a combination of all. So when you look at it from that perspective, being in Web3 for so long, connecting with the remote work community, how do you envision that to both be a benefit to you and to that community? How do you see that intersection?
I think what mainly is very interesting, if we talk about Web3, it's all about decentralization, right? And if you then talk about work, and therefore remote work, it's kind of like a decentralized version of working for a big company and everybody is in one building. And that sense of freedom, that sense of having custody of your own time and physical place, and the combination of that both is very similar, which makes this combination so interesting. Adding to that the setup of the event, where it's again, I've had the privilege to speak on many stages last year, but everybody claims networking, but then I just go, I shake hands and say hi, I do my speech, and then it's like, okay, now we're going to go again, and that was it, right? So now being away for a couple of days with the same type of people, being in the same places every time, like I assume it's going to be a lot more that you can actually build relationships next to just having a conversation on stage and then again going about your day. So that's what I'm pretty excited for.
Yeah,
that's great that you talk about it. Yeah, Lars, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think he hits it really on the nail when it comes to the similarities between the freedom seeking. It's very present in Web3 and it's very present in remote work, because people are seeking a level of like freedom in the mind, like almost. I think that the people that I speak to in Web3, they have this sense of like, I can do something and I don't feel restricted in my technological limitations. And I would have to add AI to this as well. I think it's just like technology in general is a very big enabler to really get things off the ground faster and in a more community-driven way. And I think if you look at remote work, it's really important too, because you're not in a location that is home, so it's not so likely for you to find your community. So they are seeking similar things, and I think that they can learn a lot from each other. I think that remote work can learn a lot from the community building side that Web3 has to offer, and I think Web3 can learn a lot about the models that remote work has to offer. And if they can combine those two things by sharing the knowledge during an experience like this, and potentially even start things, collaborations between businesses or collaborations between individuals, and then adding our third layer into it, that's being creators, because in the end, without creatives, none of us could really do what we want to do. So I think that we cannot forget that that's an element of this event too, that the creators of this world can come and be facilitated by maybe the evangelists in the Web3 side, but also the evangelists in the remote work side. And I think that that combination and that personal connection that is different from any event that I've experienced, like I can relate, and Mina and I speak about this in private very often, how many conferences I went to where I feel like it's exchanging business cards and quick sales pitches, and it's never about like the dinners that you have there. It's too much in line with the outcome and not the journey. And I think that we will be the first event that focuses first on the journey and second on what the outcome might be. And I think that that is what I believe people in Web3 are looking for, but I think also people that are in remote work, because they seek that community, and Web3 provides that. So I want to kind of maybe ask funds too, is like, when you're thinking like community building and when you're thinking about like Web3, like, and you're also very much into like the gaming side of things, how do you view that kind of that triangle intersection between building community, utilizing Web3 technology, and then also having gaming, what's like a thing that people do, Web2, Web3, Web1 was always a thing. So like, how do you view that as kind of like a way to bring people into this new world?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting things to say about that. Is first and foremost, if we think about work for a lot of people, it gives a sense of meaning, right? And especially people that maybe have a strong connection with the company that they work for, and they're also go into the office and have that sense of belonging almost to a group of people. And of course, COVID hit, and we all had to go work from home. And then you saw that companies struggle with keeping culture, with having people connected to other people, and we also saw the importance of having that connection to people, either both physical and digital. If we then fast forward and go to remote working, and maybe, for example, look at freelancers. I have freelanced in my life as well, and then at those moments, it's stuff can get lonely, right? And it's like, where's that connection, and where are those people that you could normally connect with in a physical space, in an office or a co-working space? And again, going down to remote working, if you can add the freedom of remote working, but do add to that some sense of that you're a part of something, that you're part of a group of people, an actual community, then you maybe have best of both worlds. And I think that's a very interesting a crossover point there. Second to that, what Web3 has done well, and therefore also gaming does very well, is that people actually feel that sense of belonging in these communities, although they have never even seen each other or know their real names, right? And that's something very special. Like, we've all seen maybe the clips of gamers that have gamed for 10 years, have become best friends, but never saw each other until one moment, right? It's like, that's, how do you create that, and how do you make that possible if you do remote working and you work maybe as a freelancer or by yourself? I think there's a lot of learnings that can be shared from that, and that will make a lot of people a lot happier, and maybe even therefore also open up the door to remote working a little bit better, because maybe people are afraid to feel that sense of loneliness. But no, there's a solution for that, and hopefully the Vivel community can provide that also.
And by the way, when we are talking about how we can just like how both worlds can help each other, I think that it's going to be also easier, because that's what we've been discussing with Lars too, because we'll only be having a limited number of people. And that's going to be the benefit for those people being in having that in-person experience, because usually when we go to events, we either do not get to know the people that we can just like, combine our expertise, or it's too crowded, or we don't have like, it's like the day-long conferences, as you said, you go on stage and you don't get to have that spare time so that you can, really network with the people that you like to work, network with. Because like in our event, it's going to be a combination of both the lifestyle part and like the experience, the workshops, and the conference itself, that people will find time to also build those networking relationships. And so looking at that from a community perspective, Fons, how do you see this community to evolve after the event? Because we did not create Viva only for the event itself, for one time thing, but we are just like, envisioning that to be self-sustainable community. So how do you see yourself being a part of that community, and how do you envision that community to evolve in time?
Yeah, I think the cool thing is that this is kind of kicking off with actual physical event is something instead of something digital. Is exactly like you said. You get the actual opportunity to meet people and get to know them. Not only meet. I think that's a big difference here that I'm now making for myself. It's not only about meeting. It's also about actually getting to know the other person, because there's more than just the talks, right? There's the lifestyle part. There's the all the other stuff that is being put together, which is awesome. And I think the result of that will be that uh, it will the barrier to reach out to somebody that you met at an event, and then again I go back to just meeting, is still pretty high, right? Yeah, we shook hands, I want to send you something, and maybe they reply, maybe you don't. But if you actually build to get to know something, get to know somebody during this event and all these activations that are gonna happen, of activities, um, you lower that barrier to them for me to reach out, because I actually know you, right? That I actually have a sense that I got to know you a little bit in these couple of days, which hopefully results in actual results, right? Actual partnerships, actual people starting to connect, do more things together. That is something I'm very excited for. I've been in a lot of communities over the last 18 months on Discord and wherever, and I've never really connected with people that I never met before that, and that is a challenge. And I think doing it this way can be a very interesting way to actually do succeed in the promise of a community as well, where people help each other, build things together, do stuff together, and that's my goal, and that's what I'm looking forward to most.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful. It's like you. The way that I picked Cappadocia in the first place was because of an actual visualization I had. Right, an air balloon goes up when the fire is sparked. Think about this event as your fire is being sparked, and one air balloon in the sky is not as beautiful as many air balloons in the sky. So I kind of saw that vision first before I decided that was going to be like a location that you pick. And I think that people don't always know how much thought goes into the details. Like Mira and myself, we probably talk every day for the past 9 months. And like we stated that sometimes we go to bed and we visualize this whole experience kind of from A to Z. And I think when you can create something that is self-sustaining, what means Funds is as much creating this event as we are, because he's going to add his knowledge and the things that we might not know to a talk, but he's also going to add that to individuals while he is connecting with them. And that doesn't always have to mean that it is his expertise of knowledge. It can be his expertise in life. It can mean a suggestion that he has about Amsterdam because someone wants to visit. And that comes to the point where I think a lot of events are missing the mark, is that they want to keep their name on everything. And I think that should change. I think it should be, we are the signature event. The end of May is for Vivel. Everybody set your calendar, end of May, not just this year, but any year. But from that moment forward, if you bought a ticket, we want you to organize things so that people inside of the community can meet up, and it becomes truly self-sustaining, where we all help each other grow and build small segmented communities inside of this community. And I think that is something that Web3 doesn't do a good job of. Certain IP projects do, but most of them, they don't have the ability to become self-sustaining. And I think that's where I see the longevity of it. And then having the online tools now available to us. We have a private Telegram group where everybody can talk and share things. We have the ability to do Twitter Spaces. We have the ability to create these meetup points digitally where we can kind of stay connected. But I hope. Oh,
You are breaking up. I think it's fine
am I
now.
back?
Yes, you're back.
Okay, that basically maintaining the relationships both digitally and physically. I think that what you mentioned about the gamers and that lonely feeling and that need for that is something that I feel very strongly, and I'm no gamer. And it's like, because traveling can be the most lonely experience if you don't have community. And I think gaming is no different, and Web3 is no different, because if you're hiding behind like more of an anonymous type of profile or gaming tag, it can also get like very lonely if there is no sense of belonging, like you mentioned. So I think that that's one of the things that is going to change the way we see events.
And I think also what you were saying about like, creating that community and just like making it something that we would like to co-create. That's also important because like we are now in the age of collaboration and co-creation. So we are not obsessed like me, Lars, we're not obsessed about our brand, the Vivel. What we would like to achieve is really to co-create this community. And so each community member is part of it, and that we are just like helping each other to grow together so that we are reaching that exponential growth. And for that reason, we also started an ambassador program. So if you feel that you could be an ambassador for Vivel, we would love to have you part of the community as an ambassador. And if you can visit our, and I could not like do it on separate lines because it doesn't allow me, but if you visit our website links.vivel.xyz, and if you use a funds code funds10, then you get to have a 10% discount on your ticket sales. So if you want to grab your ticket and get that extra 10% discount, you can use his code when you are checking out on the ticketing page.
Isn't that funny? It's like that one thing you don't want to do when you're doing like this type of thing. But I feel like when people resonate, you have to like have them go somewhere. It's like always that awkward conversation. I feel like Funds and I were like talking before. It's like, I have this idea, maybe we should do this, but then when you really think about it, it's like, oh shit, you don't want to like bring that up. But it's like you want to help people when they resonate to be able to also make it obtainable. So, as much as it's like the most cringy thing to do, it's sometimes like just something nice. Like, but it's like this feeling, like, like if you're not the type of person that's like the salesy, then it can feel something. So it's funny that we had that conversation, and then Mina just takes it upon herself to do it. So it's funny that way.
Okay, so, and just a second, just to make sure that we are also giving the link separately, because it was like, it's kind of like awkward to put it in one line. So as we are coming towards the end of our live stream, Fons, do you want to add anything else? So if anyone is interested in coming, but they're not sure, what would be one thing that you would say that's unique about this event, and why should they come?
I think it's an incredible opportunity to find a combination of a lot of different things, and I think that's what makes it so unique. Like we said, it's going to happen at some beautiful places. It's not a one and done event where you just go and go home, go to your hotel and sleep and do the same thing next day. I think there's a lot of value to be shared, and that will be shared over there. Which again is going to make this special, I think. And I think there are people who follow me who are there, who are currently listening, and they want to know more. Just send me a message. I'll just send you some pictures, and then you know enough. But yeah, I'm very excited to share all my crazy ideas and stuff with everyone, and have a good time and learn a lot, meet amazing people, and yeah, and meet you guys finally.
Yeah, we are
And
looking
I think
forward
that
to that too.
the last part I want to share about like funds before we end this is that I was part of his. I don't like Discord at all. And he had a community, and I remember him like saying like, "Oh, Lars, you should join this Web3 community. It's really cool. There's some really cool people. You should listen into this chat." And I'm like, "Okay, where is it?" And he says, "Yeah, you have to first join the Discord." And I'm like, "Oh man!" So I actually downloaded Discord so that I could be on the call with his community that he built. And I will say, for people listening, I think the reason why you should come and meet funds is because he is able to always put the best educators together. Like, certain people have gifts of bringing people with vibes together, but there's also people that are really good at getting quality people that actually provide the best knowledge in a certain place. And I think you did a great job with your community. And I was glad to download Discord. And I think after a few calls, I was like, okay, maybe I have to go away from Discord again. But I think it's still about the meaning of the education. I think that is something that I think funds is. That's why I respect funds so much, and why I think he is the perfect person to be on stage and sharing his knowledge in a very high regard.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words.
So we can't express how happy we are to have you part of our community. I hope we could just like tell you that enthusiasm that we are bearing at the moment to have you part of this community.
Well, it's my pleasure. That's for sure. Thank you. I'm very excited.
Okay, so thank you everyone who joined us today and who will watch us later. And if you are interested in joining us in being part of our Vivel community, please visit our website, and you can also become an ambassador or become part of the community. And so we'll be doing these live streams each week on Wednesday. So stay tuned, follow us on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and on Instagram to stay up to date with the news. And see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.